go. She's fired up. She said a lot of good mornings already.
Words are not coming out.
There you go. Good to see everybody on this beautiful November morning.
It's crisp. Alexa lied to me this morning. I'm like, Alexa, what's the weather? And I said, it's going to be warmer than yesterday. And she said yes, and she lied.
She lied. It's not bad. It's not too bad.
Lied.
I can't complain. Normally it could be much worse in November.
Yes,
so
that is true.
It's good to see everybody. We've got some exciting news. We're going to pop into a lot of our announcements today. A lot of things going on at Samson.
So much going on.
And then we have a fantastic guest. We're really blessed. We've got David Childress, the president and CEO of Keeping Current Matters, just one of the great speakers and thought providers in our industry. So we're excited for him to be popping in here in just a few minutes.
Dropping all of the good knowledge.
So let's get rid of.
I just want to point out one thing. It is time.
Oh my goodness.
For Christmas.
You know. And there you go.
Speaking of Christmas,
start with Christmas. There you go. I'll start with the
Sam fam. I love you guys. Yesterday, my office was exploding with boxes. It was fantastic. This is our annual Samson Cares Toy Drive. Last year, we collected over 700 presents to give to children in need in our area. This year, our goal is 1,000. I know we can hit it because day one, I have like 100 already, and it's fantastic. So,
and whatever's left, Sarah will buy.
I will play.
So buy.
I will buy. I probably will, but I will also play. So guys, on your screen right now is the QR code that takes you directly to our Amazon wish list. If you want to just be able to push the button and put it on your credit card and have it shipped directly to me, or you impacted a young child's life, please go shopping. It is so much fun. We've put some suggestions up there. We have books and for older kids, as well as hats, coats, gloves. I typed stuff for them as well, and toys for the littles. We've got everything from $5 stocking stuffers to leapfrogs and Legos and Barbies, all kinds of wonderful things for kids. We've got so many children. We have over 30,000 children living in a 3-county radius around us that are food insecure. So these toys are going directly to those kids in our areas that need help. We will be collecting through December 1, because we have to be able to get them boxed up and taken over. Please do not wait till December 1. Go and shop right now. Several of you have reached out and said, hey, what can I do with my kids or my grandkids? And we want them to understand the joy of what we're trying to do. Feel free to take them to Target or Walmart, pick out a few things, bring them to the office here in Chantilly, or take them to your local office, and the runners will bring them to me. If they want to see Santa's Workshop, also known as my office, you can come and drop them off in the office. So thank you so much for contributing, guys. This is us pouring into the community to help those children in need. I could not be more thankful for each and every one of you that have already ordered, and I look forward to getting more and more and more. You'll hear more from me.
We'll keep sending updated pictures of the pile.
The office.
The office of toys. That is Sarah's office. So thank you all for that.
Yes, thank you.
Some of you guys we've already started to advertise these a little bit, but our official holiday parties this year.
Our regional holiday
parties. We're going to do a little different. We're going to cater them all this year, make them a bigger deal, and put them all over the region. They're not office specific. So a couple of them are in offices, but they are for the region. So the Central Maryland party is going to be our first one, December 3rd. This is going to be at the Blue Dolphin, down the street from our Bowie office. A fantastic event where we can get a lot of people into the restaurant, get food, good drink, eat, drink, be merry. That is also the same day.
Good food, good drink.
Yes, there you go.
Good words.
Eat, drink, and be merry. There you go. That is also the day is HQDU, same day. So if you're planning, maybe you'd like to come to the party, come early, go to HQDU that day, hang out, do some work, network with people during the day, and go to the holiday party that night. So wanted to get to some one-stop shopping there. We've got the Central Virginia party, which will be Friday the 5th from 12 to 2. I saw Jay send something out. Fredericksburg, Richmond, Stafford, anybody that's Central Virginia region.
Yes.
West Virginia Panhandle, Charlestown, Hagerstown can go there, Martinsburg, Winchester. We've got tons of different offices. You can go to any party you want, guys. Some of you can take the challenge. We'll give a special prize. Anybody goes to all five
parties.
I know we'll be at all 5. So
yes, we will.
We'll give you a separate bingo card if you come to all 5 parties with us and hang out.
And guys, we know we just want to say we have loved over the years celebrating with each and every one of you. And when we were 15 offices, we had 15 parties. And when we were 20 offices, we had 20 parties. And when we were 30 offices, we had 30 parties. We cannot do 44 going on 47 parties. So this is a way for us to get everybody within a decent driving area to just come and share the holiday spirit. Some of your offices will continue to do other type get-togethers, but this is a way for our staff to go to one place to see all of you and share in the good holiday spirit.
So we are going to have them
Yes.
catered, and we'll have fun at all of them. So
An elevated holiday experience.
we got a couple Friday lunches, which
Yes.
feel fun, and then 3 night parties. So Bowie at Blue Dolphin, the Gaithersburg will be Friday, the next Friday, the 12th. During
And
the
West
day will
Virginia.
be the Northern Virginia party on Friday at 12 o'clock. So I said that one. So we tried to pick some fun times, make them
There
special.
may or may not land on the May be a really fun white elephant gift exchange,
There you go.
because that's my jam.
I think we're gonna make Sarah do some karaoke.
No.
No. Okay. All right. So circle your calendar on those.
Right,
Try to
Fresh
get to as many
Prince.
as possible. I did do Fresh Prince at Gaithersburg. It's fantastic. All right. Business Mastery, December 9th. Really looking forward to this. Tuesday the 9th, a couple weeks from now, 9 to 12:30. Get there early, get some breakfast, get this networking. Then we're going to start with Steve and Caitlin Ellis. They do a great job with Ellis Properties. Bob and Rana teaching. I know they've done some meet and greets trying to build their team, but this is the first time they're able to teach with us. We're excited to hear great knowledge from Bob and Rana. And then closing out with the wonderful Jason Cheperdak, who's always a treat every time he teaches for us. So we're going to get you in, get you out by lunchtime there, get you a great morning of trading. Free to all Samson Properties realtors. You can bring a friend if you want to, if they're from outside of our brokerage. But RSVP on the Cardinal Nest, we know how many people to expect. It's going to be a great day at International Country Club.
Absolutely. And don't forget, you guys, this was part of a series, this Business Mastery series that Jason started with us earlier this year. So this is one where you can go back and watch the previous sessions with all of our great speakers. And then we've paired him with other people to really impart some great knowledge and drop some tidbits on you guys. So all of those videos are on the Cardinal Nest for you to watch.
Yeah, and we've got some great ones in there.
Yeah.
Dustin, Carolyn, Casey, Elizabeth, all did great
Great sessions. guys.
sessions the last couple Business Masters. So looking forward to another one there.
Look at there, Samson Properties.
All right, so we've got some charts for you. Some of these we've snuck out to a couple different people the last week or two, but this is through October. So this was year to date through October. We will do year-end stuff here, guys, but we're going to do Northern Virginia, Maryland, and DMV. So this is Northern Virginia, and this is the full brand. So this is not by brokerage. This is the full brands. This is Keller Williams has 5 different brands.
All of the Keller Williams put
All
together.
the different Keller Williams,
of
all the
Lana
different
Foster.
Remax and
Yeah.
stuff. Everybody together. You can see that we've got, over 1,000 homes lead on Keller, on all of Keller Williams this year, just in Northern Virginia counties. Compass is it's less than half. They've done less than half the amount of sales that we've done in Northern Virginia this year. Long and Foster, less than half. Pearson Smith, about a third. So you can see those top 10s. This is not to talk about other companies.
No, it's to say you're kicking ass, Samson.
Wow.
Whoop, whoop.
You've got that going for you. There you go.
Yes.
All right. So good stuff there. But we're going to make this available for everybody to share if they want to. So this is through the end of October. And then this is Maryland. So this is the first time we've given you a whole state of Maryland
Look
chart.
there.
Number 2 year to date in brokerages in Maryland.
Guys, this is so impressive.
Out of 2,121 brokerages up there, we're number 2.
Because a couple of years ago, we weren't even on this chart,
We
you
weren't even on
guys.
the
You
chart
are
a few years
taking
ago.
the state by storm.
So you can see you've got Long and Foster, Samson, Compass, Cummings, EXP, the top 5 there, and then go with some of those names that you think might be bigger: Caldwell, Redfin, Central 21, Berkshire, and then Keller. But number 2 in all of Maryland for the year. Fantastic stuff. I love the growth there. And I think we're up 20.2% year over year, and growing by the month. It keeps getting bigger and better. So we're excited about that one. This is the whole DMV. So this is what we saved for last, but this is crazy. I never would have told you, when we entered the chart of the top 10 of DMV with DC and Maryland, I was excited. And I know we've been advertising we're number 1 in the DMV last year, but there's a little bit of a difference here. It wasn't a lie, but we were number 1 in brokerage. And what that means is this: Keller Williams has 5 different brokerages. They're all different brokerages within a brand. Remax has 7 different different brokerages in this area. And we were the number 1 brokerage. Now we're the number 1 brand, which, if I'm being honest, I never thought we'd get there. We have sold more homes in the DMV this year than all Keller Williams combined. You can see that they're close.
They're so close. But you know what? We're higher.
We are higher. So we're just over 10,000. They're just under 10,000 just in the DMV market.
What
You
a
can see
powerful, powerful chart.
Compass, Long and Foster, then all of Remax. All of Remax is like 6,000 and we're over 10,000. So gives you some perspective on how fantastic you all are doing out there. So this is the DMV chart. You know, I'm proud of you all and all this stuff. So I want to get this in a clear, easy to read fashion. So we'll work on getting this out. People ask about the purple and the blue. The purple is buy side and the blue is list side. It adds up to the total. Not that it really matters, it's just necessarily the way that this chart does it. So,
And these
exciting
graphs were
stuff.
through the end of October. We do need to put a date range on those, and we'll post them on the.
Yep.
These are bright data pulled, and date range we'll put on there and put them on the Cardinal Nest for you to use right now. But no, we'll continue to run and update these charts with year-end data so that you have those available to use as well.
Absolutely. So, number one in DMV, number two in Maryland, number one in Northern Virginia. Just a reminder, guys, and after Thanksgiving, we got our next each video is in Bowie that day. So you can see the calendar, the schedule of all the classes. We're coming to Bowie, and then we're going to Lake Ridge on the 10th. So those are our last two HQDUs of the year. Looking forward to great turnout and great education there. Circle those on your calendar. Those are fantastic events to join in here. Do we have, is Mr. Childress in the house? I can't tell.
He is.
He is.
Excellent.
All right.
It is time.
You're actually on time, 9:14.
I can't believe it. Well, hello there, Mr. Childress. How are you doing?
Uh-oh, we
You're
have to
gonna
get
need to-
sound. We need to unmute him.
We need to unmute him.
He is unmuted.
Uh-oh.
We don't have you.
Try again, David.
Somebody said they can hear me.
There you
we
go.
got
We got you now.
We got you.
All right. Good morning. It's great
Good
to be on this
morning.
morning. Great to hear good things happening too.
Yes.
Yes.
I like those shoes in the background, David. Those are fresh. What do you got going on
my
back
custom
there?
KCM Air Force Ones.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
We need some Samson Properties Air Force Ones on it.
Oh my
Perfect.
gosh, that would be right up in her alley.
Mhm.
It is right out of my house. How you been, David?
Wonderful. You know, I was thinking about this morning. It was so good to be together, whatever it's been now. I need to look at the date. It was a couple months ago. We had a chance
Absolutely,
to be
yes.
together and doing wonderful. You know, continue to share the KCM message and excited to be with everybody this morning.
Fantastic. Well, what's going on in the market?
Well, there's a lot happening right now. You know, I think I'll kind of hop in here. I have the ability to share my screen as well, right?
Yep, there you go. Yep.
All right, perfect. I'm not going to share it right now, but I just want to make sure I had that ability. Let me say a couple of things right now. The one, we're on the front end here. It's the 19th. Today is Wednesday, I believe. And, you know, coming up, we have Thanksgiving next week, holidays coming into Christmas and everything next month. We'll probably collectively as a group, all of us, see more people over the next 6 weeks or whatever time frame than we've seen all year. I would probably venture to say that. And I will guarantee you this, the topic of real estate will come up. And maybe over the next few minutes, my hope is to give you a few things that you can share. And Donnie, I'll send you all these slides after we get off so you can get them out to everybody. But here's my coaching to you. Take what we talk about today and put them on your phone. Put them on an iPad so that when you're talking to somebody, you can show them what's happening in this market. You know, the old saying, you know, you tell somebody something, but why not show them, right? A picture is worth 1,000 words. And so I want to give you that today and maybe spend, I don't know, the next half an hour or so talking about what's happening in this market and give you a little bit of perspective on that. So what I'll do is I'll back up for a second and I'll share my slides in just a minute.
Okay.
But let me say this as well. I think right now where we sit, something very interesting happened a couple of weeks ago, and many of us, obviously, I live in Richmond, Virginia. I don't know if you know that, just down the road from where many of you are. It's where our KCM office is at. But you know, we saw 2 weeks ago the midterm elections happen, and across the country. You know, so much going on, and regardless of where you fall politically or what you think about many of the elections, here's the one thing I will tell you that was very interesting. Every politician mentioned home affordability in their platform.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whether they won or they lost, they mentioned home affordability. We should pay attention to that. You know, we've talked about a lot of this KCM. I know everybody on the call here knows that affordability is challenged for Americans. But it was reinforced as the biggest issue that consumers are worried about, focused on, frustrated with. And we need to have an opinion on that. So I'm going to kind of break down some of that for you in the next few minutes. Sound good?
Excellent.
Hey, do me a favor too in the chat. Here's a question that I have, and I don't know if this was asked before. How many people on the call, maybe just a simple yes or no in the chat, have taken advantage of the free offering of KCM at Samson?
There you go. Start filling that chat. Give them some
There
yeses
you
and
go.
nos, everybody.
Just show me that.
wow.
I'm
There you
just
go.
curious. And I'm not here to sell you anything today, not by any stretch of the imagination, but want to give you perspective. So I see a lot of yeses, one no. It's okay if you haven't. I'm going to show you how to grab that free resource. So a few no's, few yeses. I see them in there. Good deal. Keep those coming. But I'll show you here in just a minute. I'll give you something to scan where you can sign up, grab your free KCM account where you can share stuff. That's a huge advantage that you have. And I want you to take advantage of that, okay? So let me go ahead and hop in, if that's all right. I'll
Yep.
share my
Absolutely.
screen, and I will give you all of this. We'll talk about affordability. We'll talk about, I'm going to give you this too, what I believe you need to have on your phone when you sit down at Thanksgiving dinner. So, I kind of titled this, "The Housing Market Starting to Move Again." If you sit down with somebody, like, how's the housing market? You say, well, I feel like it's starting to move again. Let me give you some perspective on why I say that. Because they may have heard something in the news, like I heard nobody was selling their home. I heard the market was frozen. I heard this, I heard that. But there are some good signs that we see right now in the market. Odetta Cushy from First American said, after a prolonged slump, and it has been prolonged, the existing home market is showing signs of recovery. That's a good thing. We want to pay attention to that. And it's really based upon sort of the three factors, I would say. First, mortgage rates have been decreasing for most of this year. I think everybody hopefully on the call knows that, and are lower than they've been the last couple of years. To the lock-in effect, that refers to the number of people that have a great mortgage rate. That's starting to ease. Homeowners are selling and inventory, is rising again. And that's a national number, depending on the market that you're at. And here, in Virginia, certainly up in the Northeast, not as much inventory as in other parts of the country. And three, the combination of lower rates and more homes, more opportunity is leading more buyers to kind of go, okay, is now the time, right? And I think we've seen this fall market be a market where 1 week we see some activity, the next week it feels like we don't. Hey, we're going to make it through this, then things sort of turn sideways. But here are a few things that are facts about why this market is starting to move. First, mortgage rates are trending down. If you look at this year, we started off this year, call it around 7% on the 30-year fixed mortgage.
I like that line. That looks pretty, dude.
That's if you think about it, we want to see mortgage rates go down, and we want to see, sales go up. Everybody on the call wants to see more people, achieve the dream of homeownership. But that's a fact. We know mortgage rates have trended down. What does that then mean? Remember, I told you affordability is the biggest issue for Americans, evidenced by politicians going, we're going to solve it, right? Now, we'll see if they can do anything. We hope they can, and certainly want to see that happen. But that's the way the political system works, is when there's an issue, politicians go, we're the answer, vote for us, and we know that about our sort of world. But as rates trend down, payments trend down. This is fascinating. Listen to this. And even if you're watching right now and you want to post something on social media, take a picture of one of these. I'm going to give all of these to you, and you can put something out there right now in your story going, hey, I was following the market. Here's something fascinating. From May of this year until November, the median mortgage payment in this country has gone down from almost $2,900 to just under $2,500.
That's big. That's big.
That's huge. That's huge. We had a KCM member take a graphic like this, text it out to the people they were working with that were thinking about buying, and sent it to 40 people, got 18 people to respond, set 7 appointments, and closed a purchase on it. People are focused on this. They may not know exactly what's happening. We can get the information out in the market. ICE, which covers a lot of mortgage data, has reported that affordability hit its best level in 2.5 years in September. Now, some of that's, all this data comes in the rearview mirror, but it's driven by lower rates. Okay, and that's a good thing. Now, affordability, I'm not here to say we're out of the woods and we don't have any issues, but here's what I am saying is it's gotten better. Okay, and that's a message we should share. I always try to share this. There are 3 things that affect affordability. If you don't know these, I would write them down pretty quickly. The first is mortgage rates. They affect affordability. As mortgage rates go up, the affordability worsens. As they come down, affordability gets better. The second thing that affects affordability is home prices. And let me show you this right here. The price of homes is not accelerating at the rate that it was back a couple of years ago, or even as recently as 2024. And so if you look at that, mortgage rates affect affordability, the price of the home affects affordability. And then the third metric that affects affordability are wages. And what we know is that wages right now are climbing faster than what they were in the past decade. So my perspective on affordability, mortgage rates are coming down, prices of homes aren't going up as quickly, and people are earning more money, as evidenced by the survey from the Fed. And I think we know that people have earned more money. Now the question is, are they outpacing inflation? Are they outpacing the price of homes? And I don't think we're there. It's still hard for people to buy a home right now. And many people are kind of wondering, will I be able to? Here's the reason I say all of this. And I want to take it as sort of a pause for just a minute. If I was to back up and you were to say, David, why does KCM exist? We exist for issues like this, to be sort of in your back pocket, to give you everything you need to be able to explain this market right here. Because here's what we believe. Most agents know what's happening. Good ones understand it, but great agents can explain what's happening. I want you to be able to explain things to people as you're talking to them, as you're out there, at a holiday gathering. Not that you're going to, take over that, talk all about the housing market. But we can explain things to people. We can say, affordability is a big issue, but I see some positive signs. Would you mind if I share those with you? Or let's set up a time and talk about that. I think many people want to know that. People today in this world are looking for authenticity. Do you care about them? Do you want to make a difference in their life? And do you care about what's important to them? And this is certainly important. If we continue this sort of journey, one of the fascinating things to look at in the market is the share of mortgages above 6% has climbed to a 10-year high this year. So we're sort of getting back in the range of 2015 sort of time frame, with more and more people that have bought a home and have a mortgage over 6%. If you start to look at that as sort of a bigger picture, the lock-in rate is starting to break up. This is a look. You probably want to go back and check this out, but this is the number of mortgages in this country as sort of measured by their rate. You see at the top here below 3%, 3%, 4%, 5%, and you see that number of 6 and 5 sort of climbing a little bit more. A lot of people now have a mortgage. More people, remember I said it's a 10-year high, have a mortgage above 6% than they've had the last several years. So we're starting to see people make those decisions. And I'm not saying everybody's rushing into the market and, doing that, not by any stretch of the imagination, but people are deciding that it's worth it. Homeowners are deciding it's worth moving, even if it means giving up a lower rate. We know that life doesn't stand still for folks that are thinking about moving. So we are seeing some signs of things happening there. I'll give you a couple other things about that. One, inventory continues to grow. If you were there when we were together in Maryland, we talked about inventory growing. October was the 6th month that active units were above 1 million in this country, and kind of getting close to where we were in 17, 18, 19. I drew a little box around that, but we are seeing more inventory for sure. across the market. And I know in any market that you serve, you could say, okay, here's what it looked like last year. Here's what it looks like this year. We know there are more options for those that are buying. I don't have this in this presentation, but I recorded a video yesterday for KCM that's fascinating on a study that was done. And I think we all know this, but the longer a home stays on the market, the less it sells for, right? We have the information and the data now to prove that to people. That'll be coming out from KCM. So be on the lookout for that. But as inventory grows, and that grows because a lot of homes are sitting on the market, we know there are price issues with that. The other thing is purchase applications. Kind of been down week over week, but they remain about 20% higher than a year ago. So what's happening in the real estate market is certainly we see rates having an impact. We see inventory having an impact, and people are stepping into the market where they put off a decision maybe last year to do something like that. Forecasts for next year are that we will sell more homes. Another side of sort of turning this corner.
I like that
somewhere
one.
around
I like that one.
Look at there.
Yeah.
We like the green line.
Well, and Dave, I don't mean to sidetrack here because
go ahead.
a flow, but I know I was just at NAR this week with Lawrence Yoon, and his estimates were even a little bit higher than this. Is it just different data points and different projections and different models? I think he had it at 14% higher, which it would be great. It looks like roughly you're at 10, 11, 10% maybe, if I'm doing math correctly there, year over year.
Right.
It's all the same range, but just do you look at other economists and some of their stuff or kind of, just unpack that for a second, if you don't mind.
So So quickly, we do look at the survey of everybody who is projecting home sales.
Sure.
And rates and all the factors. And I'll get into that in just a second. But
Cool.
if we look at let's just back up and look at this graphic, but I'll speak to the point you just made. 2024, this is total homes, new and existing, just under 4.8, 4.7. We're basically flat year over year, 24 to 25, and forecasting growth in 26. Now, do we look at those? Yeah. And I would say they all sort of, one might be saying 10, one might be saying 14. We try to average them as we put those out. But here's what I will tell you that's more interesting than is one saying 10 or 11 or 12 or 13, whatever it is everybody that forecast home sales is forecasting a rise.
Yeah, that's the good news, right?
That's the important thing. So you have to take a step back and go, well, why are they doing that? Well, they see what we see. They see mortgage rates coming down. They see people putting off the decision to make a move, and they see this sort of favorable environment to sort of break up the market. I don't see anybody calling for us to blow the doors off, right?
Yeah.
And go, hey, we're going to do this. I think it's going to be a market that will get incrementally better. I think we may have a slight breeze at our back, not this full wind at our back. But here's what I believe the better news is. I don't think we're going to have a strong wind in our face. In the last couple of years, we've had some wind in our face.
A lot of wind in our face.
Yeah, for sure. But the reason I bring all of this to you is the things that make it into the news are things like the study that Redfin did, that 1 out of 28 or 28 out of 1,000 homes sold this year, the lowest turnover rate in at least 30 years. A lot of people saw that, and said, well, gosh, nothing's happening in the real estate market. Things are happening, and we see progress in the market, no doubt. But be aware of that. That's factually correct. The rate of homes when adjusted for population growth is at the lowest level it's been probably historically. Last year and this year. That is factually true. We are seeing people move. We are seeing people, even evidenced by what you just shared, Donnie, as I was joining, right? In spite of that, making progress. And that's the story of our business. The one thing that I always like to think about this, about 4 million existing homes sell, in this year, or the rate at what they're selling. That's 11,000 homes that sell every day. You divide it by 24 hours, it's 463 homes. Divided by 60 minutes, that's 8 homes that sell every minute.
That's
So
amazing. People don't think about it like that.
yeah. The next time you're in the office, somebody's complaining about nothing selling, say, hey, the time that you took to complain about it, 80 homes just sold.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's our job to get out there and
Be the one selling them. Yep.
grab them. Yeah, that's for sure. Let me give you a couple other things real quick. I want to give you these. These are the ones that I would highly recommend. You take these slides that I'm going to give you, put them on your phone so that you can show people as you're talking to them as the topic of real estate comes up. What's the first one? It is the number of homes for sale in this country has increased last 6 months. Remember this, over 1 million homes for sale in this country. That hasn't happened since 2019. That is a very interesting thing. We're seeing, sort of the replenishment of inventory across the country, still undersupplied here in the U.S. That will keep upward pressure on prices. We know that, but we know homes are coming back to market. Homes are now selling at a more normal pace. Anybody on the call have a seller that maybe needs to see that?
I would say every listing
agent on the call.
Every seller, if it doesn't sell in the first week, they're like, well, why didn't it sell? What's going on?
The price.
Reality is homes are taking longer to sell right now, and we need to educate people on that and get them up to speed on that. Mortgage rates, we talked about this, that are trending down very solidly. We know that the trajectory being now, depending on the particular day, they're going to go up and down, and what news comes in, who says what. It certainly is a market that fluctuates, but we know we are in a better position than we were at the beginning of the year. That's caused mortgage payments to trend down.
I love that slide. Everybody on the call, take a screenshot of that slide and share it with people.
Well, we'll also share it out to everybody later, yes. But yes, go ahead.
It's a great slide to have a topic to talk about with people, right? That is factual, that is good news. The reality still remains is that home pricing trends here in the U.S. vary by the market. This is a look at the top 50 markets in this country. About half of them are down year over year, half are up. Now, I would pump the brakes on the ones that are down. Most of these markets went up by 60 to 70% in the last 5 years. And they've come down, here, if you look at this graphic, 3 or 4%, maybe 5% in some cases.
For those looking, DC's in the middle, Baltimore, Maryland, slight up, Richmond or slight up, Virginia Beach slight up. So some of the ones around us are in the middle of the chart there.
Yeah, generally where we're at, Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, we've seen prices hold up very well. A lot of Florida markets, Texas markets. And again, these were heavily inflated markets during the COVID era. And again, I always think about this as an investment. If you lived in Austin, Texas, your home went up 75%, or you had an investment that went up 75%, they said the last year it's going to go down by 5%, or you're still in.
I'd still sign up for that, David.
We're absolutely.
Yes, we're going to do both.
So that is for sure. Price cuts remain elevated. That is the truth. Price cuts in October, about 20% of the homes on the market had a price reduction. You can see there in Virginia, 19%. You see other states you can look at there. But the reality is price is critically important right now. We know it's having an impact on the market. We know that buyers are like, well, show me what you got. Let's see what we can do here. And sellers are like, well, the home down the street sold in half an hour for 50 times what it was, what they paid for it. We want to do the same. And so our job right now is to educate folks. People that are waiting for the market to prices to come down, you can certainly share this one with them. This is the look at 2026 home prices. This is the look, Donny, at an average of who we follow that puts this information out consistently from NAR to Wells Fargo to Home Price Expert. You just see them all down the line there. I would say going into next year, 1% to 2% in home price growth, but nobody calling for this mass, sort of fall in prices. And matter of fact, I think the average home in this country, if you were to buy it today over the next 5 years, that's worth about $60,000 in price growth. Now, a lot of markets are multiple of that. It's a $400,000 home purchased in January of this year. And so take a look at that sort of image and go, all right, that's what this is worth right now. I'm not trying to convince anybody to do anything, but homes will go up in value, not at the rate that they went up, the last several years, but still positive pressure on home prices because we don't have enough homes in this country for the number of people that want to buy them. I want to share a couple other things, and I certainly could take any questions, or if we want to grab something, I can do that as well. But what would I do? If I was you right now, I would share some of this content. I would get it out in the market and get that in the hands of people. You have access to this for free through Samson, which is a huge opportunity. I'd grab a couple of these shareable pieces. One about home equity. That's a topic everybody wants to talk about. One about price declines. That's a topic that people are interested in. Maybe record a video. You can record a video on what's going on across the country with prices. But here, get out your phone if you have it. I'll give you a QR code to scan. You can go there right now, set up your account. You get access to the KCM information. You can share that, get the information out to those that you serve so that you can educate them on exactly what's happening in this market. Because listen, most of the time, the news and any other outlet does not do service to educate people on what's happening in this market. And the good news is you can do that. You can get the message out there. So if you answered no on the chat there, scan this QR code, take advantage of that, use that. And I know that we can get that in the chat maybe as well, how to sign up, but want to give that opportunity to everybody if you have not already done it, because it's a huge advantage that you have.
Absolutely, guys. And if you cannot remember that and you miss the QR code, you can always email the help desk and they can set you up. This is something that we have worked out with KCM to give you content that you can use on a regular, reoccurring basis to stay in touch and engage with your clients, educating them, which is so important. David, I want to go back.
And being able to explain it.
Yes.
I loved that slide there, David. It's like you can know what's going on, you can understand what's going on, but great
being able to
agents can explain it. And that's what I think you try to do at KCM, is give them great explainable ways to give it out to the public.
Well, and on that point, and that's exactly where I wanted to go, that point that you did with the slides about price cuts. Guys, understanding that when you take a data point and you just show someone a slide that says price reductions, you're leaving it completely open to their interpretation in layman's terms of, the market's falling, the sky's falling, the prices are falling. That is not what's happening. Prices are being cut because sellers are being unrealistic and agents aren't having the kahunas to price it properly. So we have to really hone in on our pricing to be able to know what the market's doing, to price it appropriately, keeping into consideration that prices are still climbing. They're just not climbing at, like you said, this one went for $200,000 over asking price in 13 minutes. And that was a year ago. That's not what's happening right now. So it's being educated in our current market, understanding what the data is telling us, and then being able to translate that in layman's terms to our clients so that they can make good decisions on pricing and condition. And this is what KCM is so good at.
So, David, I'll crowdsource on it for another minute here, but I'm just curious. This is off the cuff. I didn't prepare you for this. But hot topics that are in the news today. I'm curious your take on two things. Being somebody that's
in the know
and has thoughts on the market. I don't. The 50-year mortgage and the portable loans that have come up as conversation pieces. Now, I'm not sure the 50-year mortgage ever gets to a finish line anywhere, but I'm curious your thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent on that, and then maybe the portable mortgages we could talk about for a second if you have time.
Sure, and don't worry about that. It's the question I get on every call.
Well, I have my own opinions, but I like to get them from smart people like you.
Well, be careful how I'll say this, and I've long thought there are no bad financial products. Okay, so just take that for what it is. Now, we did have the old pick-a-pay mortgage.
That might have been a bad one.
I'm going to tell you, I loved that one.
Negative AM loans.
Well, yeah, it allowed you to roll cash, but you had to be diligent financially. You had a place.
Most of us aren't. But
Right. It had a place for those that were. Yeah.
So I think this is not a political statement. To me, it's a statement of fact. The way our world works is domination of news cycles. 50-year mortgage dominates the news cycle. Here's what it is and here's what it isn't. 40 years is already achievable. Do I think we'll get to 50? Probably so at some point. As Americans, we generally want to buy more than we can afford, and we want to space it out longer than we can. That's what we want.
Debt is our
Whether
American
you
way.
agree with it or not.
Well,
That's
there
what
weren't
we want.
8-year car loans at one point. No, there's 8-year
Right.
car loans, right?
I remember, everybody remembers when they went to 5 and people were like, "Oh my gosh, like we're going to lose our minds."
Right.
It's not a solve for affordability. Let's be clear on that. It's not a solve for that. Could it be used in some cases financially? Maybe, but I think it's more of a novelty that is being thrown out there to get people to talk, and that's
Right.
And the average person probably goes, "Oh, maybe that is something good. Maybe that could get me in a home." That's what that does. Now, let me back up. 2 weeks ago, I was in New York City at a conference with a lot of Wall Street people that are working on tools for real estate. And I will tell you, the idea of a assumable mortgage, making that more, sort of widespread,
Yes.
and a portable mortgage are topics that are being talked about very, very much.
Good.
Do I think that lobbyists in the banking community are going to let a portable mortgage get through? Probably not, because that would then, for a lot of mortgage banks cause some issues. I think assumable probably is the area that can be grown in a bigger way. And I know there are a lot of money right now going towards tools that allow people to assume mortgages. If that were to become more commonplace, you'd see a lot of people starting to move in this market.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, and I was blessed to be in a couple rooms with some people that this weekend at NAR that policy people and stuff like that. And to me, I think the portable and assumable could be a game changer when it comes to that those golden handcuffs, the people that the lock-in effect. I think there's so many people out there, if they had a portable or assumable option, they would consider moving to that bigger house.
Right.
They give up their 3 and go to a 6.
I'll tell you, there's
if it
a
was an option.
technology right now funded by, and don't cringe when I tell you this, by Open Door, called Roam.
Yeah.
That is, all they are doing is trying to drive the assumable mortgage process. Now, the challenge with an assumable mortgage is the secondary financing, right?
Yep.
Because you could get the assumable piece, you got to get the financing
Wow.
behind it. That's what they're trying to do. And the way that our economy works and the way that, Wall Street works is whenever there's an opportunity, people jump in and they're like, okay, we see where we can make money on this.
Right.
And if you were to ask me sort of the betting odds, it would be on more assumable than it would be a portable.
Yeah,
Interesting.
the portable guys it's going to require the banking industry to really look at the fact that some money is better than no money to get the market moving again, in those rates. And, and I don't think that's going to be a short-term process, even if it's something that happens. I would love it to be, because it would open up our floodgates, but I don't know that that's a short.
I'm trying to be more optimistic.
I know.
One of the two becomes a thing.
One
at
of the
some
two,
point
we would
sooner
love
than
it.
Later, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with everything you're saying. If I had to bet on it, I think it would be more
assumable is a more
Assumable
possibility.
over, yeah.
because it's already, there's two issues. Well, one, a lot of mortgages are assumable. We know that. Challenges with it. The other is it's not widespread. Not every loan is assumable. We know that as well. So, yeah, it would be something that banks would have to get behind, and I don't get the sense they're super excited about it.
Well, David, I appreciate you coming in to share.
Absolutely.
Keeping Current Matters is a fantastic resource, and we're thankful to be partnering with you. And I want to keep spreading the word, because we think everybody should be using it, right? At a minimum, learning from it, and a secondary, spreading that news around, because we want everybody to have that great ability, not only to know what's going on, to understand it, but to be able to explain it, that 3-step process. So
Absolutely. And guys, There is absolutely no reason you have not signed up for your account. It is free.
There you go.
Get off your dust and sign up. This is a great resource.
Thank you for sharing, coming in, David. It was great
Thank
seeing
you
you.
so much. Great seeing you, David.
We'll see you soon, buddy. Take care. Have a great holiday.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. So I'm going to, we had a great time with David. So I'm going to bring in Carrie now, and then we're going to have some more of this topic. We've got some great conversation pieces.
We
so
do.
You all be ready to talk when we're done with Miss Lindsey. But we're going to welcome in the wonderful Carrie Lindsey, our president here at Cardinal Center Group. But while she's walking up there, I'm going to show us our capture rates for October. So this is our percentage of buyers that went there. Our average capture was up to 51% for that month, which is fantastic. Virginia, West Virginia, 54%. Maryland, D.C., 38%. Here are your regions. We are redoing these starting January 1. We realize some of the offices aren't in regions yet, and we're going to fix that now. But you can see generally the region you're in. Looks like we need a little help in that Baltimore region, but the others are good up there. And the D.C. Maryland Metro one is doing pretty good as well, higher than it's been. And then the Central Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, Panhandle, Northern Virginia, getting to that 50% or higher is fantastic stuff. So thank you all for all your support of Cardinal. And now we've got Miss Lindsey. We've got some. How you doing, Carrie?
Hey, excellent.
Good. We need to get some more pictures of these.
We
people out there,
we do. We need
but
those beautiful photos.
Let's talk about some of your award winners for the month. Some of your shining stars at Cardinal.
Let's do it. The first one is Devin Yee, pre-processor of the month. Devin works downstairs on the 4th floor. She does a great job. Many of you probably see her name when she opens the files, when she reaches out for information, and we're really happy to recognize her.
There you go.
The next one, Deneen Covage, processor of the month. I think Deneen is a first-time winner. We are so
Hey,
happy
way
to
to go,
award
Deneen.
her. Deneen has so many fans in the Alexandria office and elsewhere. She processed a lot of files. She does a terrific job on all of them. She's so patient. She's got some tough ones, and she always makes it through and makes it a success in the end. So congratulations, Deneen. You do an awesome job.
Love it, love it.
We've got Sam Grace, a settlement agent of the month. Sam Grace is one of our newer employees out of Ellicott City, and he's pretty new and doing an awesome job. He did a ton of files for us, closed them in all sorts of different places in October.
Flying around. Good job,
Yeah.
Sam.
Alicia Grady is our post-closer of the month. Alicia started in Chantilly back in the day, but she's now in Winchester. She post-closed the most files by a landslide in October, so we're really
Oh,
happy
wow.
to
Way to go,
recognize her.
Alicia.
Yeah, go Alicia. And last but not least, we've got McKinley Lindsey as our Above and Beyond winner. As you know, we vote for the winner. McKinley got the most votes. She's a post-closer in Chantilly. She's been with us for about a year and a half, learned post-closing from the ground up, and we're really thrilled to recognize her.
Awesome. Great job, McKinley. I love seeing a new name up there.
Yes, me too. Me too. We had a lot of new ones this month.
So we got that's quite a metrics here. We got
Yes,
going on here.
yeah, it really is. Just a warning about the courthouses being closed. As expected, every courthouse is closed on Thanksgiving and the Friday after. So if you haven't already scheduled it, Monday of next week is kind of like your best day to close before Thanksgiving to try to avoid those closings, since many are also closing at noon on the day before, on that Tuesday. So it's something to keep in mind. And then at Christmas, kind of Mondays are our friend is kind of what's going on with the holidays this year. The Monday before Christmas, if you want to close before Christmas, that's like your last really good day to do it. And then the same thing for the Monday after Christmas. That's a good day to close too. If you're in Virginia and you want to make sure those funds are dispersed, since a lot of the courthouses are closed on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and also all closed on the 26th. So that's like 2.5
This chart
more
has
days.
Virginia, but almost all
Yeah.
of them are this similar. I just wanted to kind of give you a landscape of what it looks like. Is that most courthouses are going to be closed that Wednesday afternoon for Christmas Eve, or Wednesday all day, Thursday, Friday. So
Yeah.
if you want something recorded, really that Monday is going to be the best case. Making sure you record it Tuesday, disperse, out of funds. But that Tuesday before, that 23rd, you're going to be playing with fire a little
Yeah,
bit. That's
yeah.
the way
Don't
your
do it if you have a
contracts are.
choice. Yeah, I really like Monday for both of those weeks. If you have a choice and you can scoot it up to that Monday, I think that's your safest day.
Yeah, and then New Year's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah,
January
same
1st,
exact thing.
December
Monday again.
31st,
Yeah.
You got a little bit more on the 31st before Christmas, but you're just playing with fire. And the thing is, I think most of them will open back up January 2nd.
Yeah.
So at least you'll get that Friday for New Year's. But a lot of them will not open back up December 26th. So keep that in mind, that you might be a week delay for Christmas based on where it lands this year. So good stuff there.
Yeah.
We have some wire fraud up here. Is this just always up here? or
I
you got
think it's
new-
just a
new
reminder because,
Okay.
you know, it's always out there. These criminals are smart. They have a lot of time and
We saw a
they're-
couple bad ones.
Yeah.
Some examples in the last couple weeks.
yeah, they're just always trying to outsmart us. And we've seen a lot of Wells Fargo wiring instructions that look like they're for Cardinal Title, but they are not. So just a reminder to always be really vigilant. Make sure you're educating your client. We also have wire fraud education we send to everybody that we deal with. But you just can't be too careful. So make sure you're discussing it with your client. We'll discuss it with your client. We bank at Bank United. So always make sure the wiring instructions are from Bank United, and we only send them through Qualia. So if they come from any other source, they're not valid wiring instructions, give us a call, let us know what's going on, and we will take care of the rest.
When in doubt, pick up that phone and call somebody and tell your clients tell you that. There's just, I know you always think it's not going to happen to you, but guys, we close 650, 700 files a month at Cardinal, and we see stories of this. Not necessarily always with us, stories that we catch, but stories from all over other telco. Like, they're out there, guys. And you don't want to be the person that your buyer just sent $100,000 or $50,000 or $5,000 to somewhere that doesn't exist. That's real money that they've been saving for a long time to help buy a house. So have that conversation ahead of time. When in doubt, pick up the phone and talk and check with your Cardinal processor.
Yeah, call us at a number you already know. Even if you call our main number, we'll get you to the right people and make sure we get everything straightened out.
If it smells funky at all, then it
Probably is.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I see so much love for Deneen in the chat. So thanks, everybody. She is awesome.
There you go. Well, Carrie, we're continuing to grow in a good ways. I'm going to answer one question here. We are working towards one cool, exciting announcement. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here soon. We are close, probably a month. We've got some staff that are hiring. We are getting there. We're probably January 1st-ish, we'll say, right?
That's what,
Is that safe
yeah,
to say?
that's what we want.
January 1st-ish, we're going to be able to close Cardinal deals in Pennsylvania. So we are excited about that. We've got some staff lined up to join us in December. Then we've got some processes to lock down. But we think January 1st, we'll be able to take, by then is our goal, to be able to take deals at Cardinal in Pennsylvania. So for all you Maryland, West Virginia, Pennsylvania agents that have been asking for that, we're excited about that. So probably shooting from the beginning of the year. So we're excited about that.
Pennsylvania, here we come, 2026.
And there you
Excited.
go.
Yep.
There you go. So appreciate all you guys' support of Cardinal and the amazing staff we have there. So please continue to give them your business, and they'll continue to do a great job with it. And if you need help, please reach out to Carrie and the great staff. They'll fix whatever problems we can find. We'll take good care of you.
Excellent. Thanks, Donny.
All right. Thank you, Carrie. And keep giving those great reviews. Like, they got lots of good reviews. So I'm going to dive into a couple questions. So you guys be ready to unmute yourself, because you guys have heard enough of Donny and Sarah and David and all the others. Oh, wow. That's a lot of words there. Bethany just typed.
Your participation is crucial.
Sheila, we are virtual in Florida. The office address is Deb Gorham's house. So we are available in Florida, but we do have a full office now. All right, so 50-year mortgage. I touched on it quickly with David because I wanted to get his opinion. When you get a smart person like that out there, you want to ask him what his thoughts are. I am curious of anybody else's thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent, and I will share mine, of course. But anybody else is out there that want to raise your hand and let you call on if you've got some positive or negative or thoughts in general on the possibility of a 50-year mortgage. And the reason I say that, guys, is this. You're going to be at Thanksgiving. You're going to be at Christmas. You're going to be at all these get-togethers. And you're going to get, like David said, you're going to get asked by people, hey, I hear there's going to be a 50-year mortgage. Like, you want to be able to have some thoughts, your own, but also from others in our company, from a me, from a David, from a Sarah, from other
In an
leaders.
educated format, not just pulling it out of your tush. Because
Right. And I know all of you don't read all the articles every day that maybe I read from Inman and Riz Media and Real Estate News, all the other things. So curious if you have any thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent. We'll call him Mr. Lancaster. Guys, I'll give you my opinion all day, but I like to hear from some of you all as well. So let's start with Corey.
Corey, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Is I am thumbs down with the 50-year mortgage. If you think about it, and a lot of this been on social and so forth, obviously, Your equity is not going to grow as fast if it's spread over. Being an accountant, understand how amortization schedules work. You're spreading out over a longer period, which I think, if you think about it, the average days on the market, I mean, the average on when people sell or move has already gone up since COVID. I think it's closer to like 10 years now. It used to be every 4 to 7 years, but it's gone up significantly since then. And just think about now, if it's spread over 50 years, it's going to take longer for people to move. So that might create another problem later on where people won't be able to move as much. So I think that could create another problem there. And I think you should just let the markets do what they do. Sometimes we try to get too creative, and banks probably might be thinking, more greed. And I just don't think, I think already people are not planning for their retirement, but at least they can have the house paid off, right?
Right.
So I think from people who are not planning probably for retirement just in general, I think that's just going to get worse too, just from a social standpoint as well, because now they don't have money for retirement and their house still has a big debt on it.
Well, I think you nailed it right there when you said that are planning for. Like, I don't love a 50-year mortgage, but I love the fact that it's got people talking, and I love the fact that it could be an option for someone to get a lower payment in a house that they may not otherwise be able to get into. However, comma, exclamation point, whatever all of the things are, they have to plan for it, meaning that yes, you may have a smaller payment, but you get a bonus and you're putting that bonus into a house pay down, or you're doing something to address the fact that your principal is being ticked away at such a small amount each month because it's run out for longer period of time. It's an option, but it has to be planned for, and you have to have diligent financial acumen and processes. So you pointed that out, Corey. I was just hammering it home because it's something that's really, that planning piece is so crucial.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your thoughts, Corey. I think we had a different, was Denise? Denise, did you take your hand down, or? See if we're putting Denise up on the live screen. Anybody else that wants to raise their hand, I'll certainly give all of my thoughts as well. Denise, are you still?
I couldn't unmute, sorry. I agree with Corey, but the other issue I have with the 50-year plan, with the average age of a buyer right now being 30 and to 40, you're just going to be renting your house, and the bank's going to be making money for the course of your loan, unless, like, Sarah said, you are diligent and disciplined enough to pay extra every month. It's kind of like when car loans went from 5 years to 7 years. I'm like, what in the world? I mean, it does have its place to get people a first home, a first car, but I just think it does nothing but benefit banks. I don't think it's beneficial for the purchaser.
Gotcha.
My opinion.
All right, so we've got, looks like, was Tom Linsky waving his hand? Oh, he didn't know how to press it, but he was waving his hand. Can we let Tom in that?
That's hilarious.
He was literally raising his hand, it sounds like. Mr. Malinsky.
You said raise your hand. Anyway, this is just another tool. I mean, if you go back, as my career is 40 years, I've been in the mortgage business. They came out with ARMs. They came out with this. This is just a tool to put people in a home that can't afford a home. Number one. Number two, this is not like 1940, 50, 60, where most people pay a mortgage for 30 years and never refinance or move. I mean, what's the chances in today's mortgage somebody's going to sit there and live in a house and make 50 years worth of payments? This is a tool to get somebody in a home that, possibly they're close to what they want to get, but they can't get it. This can put them in there. Hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years, they can refinance.
Right.
Right. No, good points, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I agree with
Just a tool.
a lot of those things.
Yep.
Can we call an iPhone TCG?
We just have to find them. Yep.
Can you unmute yourself? iPhone TCG that has something to say?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. This is Carlos Credo, by the way. I was looking for the hand, I couldn't find it.
Oh, there
But
you go.
Actually, Yeah, he actually hit on every single point I was going to say. I think it's just a tool for people who are not able to afford it. It's about acquisition to me. Just getting into the house is key. You can always refinance. You can rent rooms out. You can do so much. But it's about getting into the house, right? I think if you give more options to people, just allowing them to have that, it's going to be powerful. So, I mean, I'm all thumbs up for that 50 years.
Good thoughts. So any others, hands or thoughts? And look, guys, this is what I wanted. I wanted good
Discussion,
conversation,
yes.
discussions, pluses, minuses, and everybody's going to end up on their own spot. But my overall thoughts, and a lot of you guys landed on a lot of the points there is, look, I understand the people that say, it's a really bad idea. But the problem is it a worse idea than a 30? Yeah, of course. Everybody would love to have shorter terms and paying more principal. That's the things they're used to. Because there was a time that 15 and 20-year mortgages was all we did. Probably people thought 30 was crazy. So what I like about it is that it's an option. And options out there are big. When you talk about controlling an asset, which is what Thomas just talked about, is, what we want to do in this world is we want to control appreciating assets and we want to own depreciating assets. And the idea, guys, is yes, maybe only $200 of your mortgage payment goes towards principal instead of $600 of your mortgage payment goes towards principal. But the people that are buying a 50-year mortgage or would consider using a 50-year mortgage, if it even comes to pass, but it's a good conversation point, is there are people that are probably trying to get into that entry level. The average age of first-time home buyers last year was 40 years old. 40 years old for a first-time home buyer. There's a world that the 25, 30, 35-year-olds need that in affordability factor. You just saw David's chart that it said even on conservative estimates on equity growth or on appreciation, a $400,000 purchase is worth $460,000 in 5 years. It's not about whether you paid it down $10,000 or $20,000. It's the fact that you controlled something that is now worth $60,000 more in 5 years. If you don't control anything and you can't get into the game, then you can't play it. Now, if interest rates are 7.5% for a 50 and 6.25 for a 30, then there's not a conversation piece. It's not going to make sense financially. But assuming the rates are the same or similar as an entry point, what you're asking to do is be able to get in at $500, $700, $800 less a month. Yes, you're paying less principal, but what you're doing is you're controlling an asset.
And something's going towards the principal. It's not just 100% interest going to a rental payment, and you're banking on the appreciation of that property to be able to get in there and go forward.
Most people that are selling a house now that would be buying that would even consider using a 50-year mortgage. It's not even, you're going to be buying that house off at 100. Look, with all due respect, that's ridiculous, okay? Nobody's buying a house at 50 years old with a 50-year mortgage, right? The 50-year mortgage is an option for the entry-level buyer that needs to let their money go further because getting into this market is tougher than it's ever gotten into, right? So it's the idea that they're buying that condo, they're buying that townhouse, they're buying that entry-level $200,000 to $500,000 house that they're going to be in, and probably they're much more likely to move in 5 years. But if they were renting because they couldn't get in, they don't own an asset. They didn't pay anything towards principal during that time period, and they don't have something they could sell. It doesn't matter if you're straight renting it. Straight renting a house that you can't sell for 30, 40, 50 grand more in 5 years is the problem. So, look, I would never be out there saying 50-year mortgage is a game changer that's going to solve our problems.
Right.
Absolutely not.
It's a tool.
Right. Ask a person who's been renting for 20 years whether they can qualify for anything, right? It's a tool that could fill a void for, let's call it 5%, 10% of prospective buyers that might have another option out there to them. So that's the part that I would like, for the idea that, that it's an option. Now, look, if you don't want to ever talk to anybody about it, that's fine. But I think hearing the pluses, hearing the minuses, make you a more educated. There's clearly people that are 100% against it on this call. And there's certainly people that are 100% for it on this call. But I think if you hear both of those viewpoints, then you can now go into the world with a more educated viewpoint when you talk to people. And that was my goal in bringing up the conversation, is that you can hear both sides of it.
Well,
to me, I'm a strong proponent of another option out there. I would not proposed that it works for 90% of people, that if they can afford a 30, then you should be doing a 30.
And let's be clear, we are not, as most of us, mortgage professionals. We should not be saying to clients, you need to do this, or you have to do this, or you should never do this. That's the lender's job. It is our job to be educated, give some opinions, give some options, more tools in the tool belt, so to speak, to get people into homes that need homes, whether it be, for years. Donnie, one of your favorite topics is an ARM. When the ARM rates were great, get them into an ARM and then move them on up. So there's a lot of different tools that we've invoked in the years. This is just another tool. Just educate yourself on the points.
And the last point that I would make is, look, from a real standpoint, a lot of people can afford a 15-year loan, but
Right.
they didn't get it because they liked the idea of saying, I could have a lower payment with
Payment
a 30,
flexibility.
and I'll pay $500 extra towards principal every month, instead of being locked into that higher payment that's a 15. Maybe somebody wants the 50-year so that they have a minimum that they could do, and they want to pay $500 extra towards principal or as it comes. Most people won't have that financial stewardship to do that. But I love the idea of options. I love the idea of discussion. I think there's good and bad ways to apply it. I would like to just make one more statement for those of you that haven't been in this business 20 years, and you heard Sarah and I joking earlier with David. Guys, this is way less crazy than some of the stuff that went on during the 04, 05, 06, 07 crash. This is not an interest-only loan, first of all, which is what we had. Back then, we had negative amortization loans where you could pick your payment. You literally, if the mortgage payment was $2,000, you could say, I choose to pay $1,500, and what you owed actually went up $500 every month. At least now, you're definitely paying
still going down.
principal every month. You just might be paying less principal than ideally you would in a 30. So those are predatory loans. Those were done with no docs, no income needed.
I make $9 million a
You could
minute.
just say this is what you wanted to do, and there were negative amortization loans. That was the stuff that happened in 05, 06, 07, and that's when it went crazy and why the stuff crashed.
This is very
Paying full principal and interest, just a little bit less principal because it's spread out over a longer period of time. It's not predatory or crazy. It's a new idea that you at least need to know the pluses and minuses of, which is why we had the conversation.
Absolutely.
I saw.
We got a couple of hands.
Let's go, Laura, if you're still there, then Carmen, and then I'm going to move to the next kind of conversation point, if that works.
All right.
Okay, let's go to Carmen.
Unmute yourself, Carmen.
The Laura just unmute.
You're good.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when in 2003, I was in an older house, right? So we had our deductible higher on our homeowner's insurance because, you're trying to get your payment down. Well, I would certainly rather have been able to have a lower deductible on my homeowner's insurance. I didn't have kids at that point in time. I was a real estate agent. I could have put more money down every month. My mom was an agent for years and years. This is her 50th year. And I was like, I can afford a 15-year. She said, you never want to take a 15-year. You want to take a 30-year, make the extra payment. But on those months, like 1982, when as a real estate agent, you don't have that income, it's nice to be able to have the lower payment. And then in 2003, when you're making $40,000 a month, you can put, an extra $10,000 into your loan. There's all sorts of options once your payment is fixed. I love the portable mortgage idea. I would love to be able to get out of, the house and maybe I refied into that 2.5% mortgage. So I bought the property back in 1990 and I had refied a bunch of times. And now I have this super low mortgage and I have plenty of equity and I can move into a different house. I would love, as a seniors real estate specialist, I'd love for them, especially for the single, who the widow or widower whose spouse dies in October, who, if they don't sell by December, they're going to lose that higher capital gains deduction. I would love for them to do something with the capital gains deduction. I would love for them to say every principal residence no longer has a capital gains issue, I mean, that would unlock an enormous amount of real estate, especially in this area. So that's a whole new problem.
Good thoughts. Appreciate it,
Definitely,
Carmen.
absolutely.
For as a side note, NAR is pushing to attempt to get that capital gains exception raised. It has not been raised since like 1997, and home prices have doubled and tripled since then. But we still have the same $250,000 and $500,000 limits. So we are working to have those up, raised as well. So L2, what's up,
Go
Miss
ahead,
Laura?
Unmute yourself.
One thing to think about, guys. When the 50-year mortgage, the idea came out, Brandon Moorman and Tom Ferry did both videos. And in order for me to verify both videos were accurate, I did the calculations myself. Now, on a $500,000 mortgage, putting the same amount down at the same interest rate, you want to know how much the monthly payment is different between a 30-year and a 50-year? $125.
On what loan amount, Laura?
That on 500,000.
500,000.
On the difference. So, in my opinion, I mean, hell, it costs $125 to go to Pizza Hut nowadays. So, in my opinion, I don't think that is going to spur the economy as the powers that be seem. It is a talking point and it is a tool in the belt, but in all actuality, I don't think it's going to spur the house buying economy. Because I was shocked.
I appreciate that, Lauren. And if $125 on $500,000, the real
That is right.
That's
I would I believe you because I believe you're in the number. I find that
right.
that hard to be.
It depends on what rate you're using too, what the rates come out as. There's so many factors that could play a
Yes.
role.
So just go on mortgagecalculator.com and do it yourself. I mean, like anybody can do it because I was honestly shocked, guys, because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, okay, $600-700 difference between a 30-year and a 50-year. It was only $125 on a $500,000 loan.
Well, and that no. So I appreciate it, Laura. No, it's good thoughts. So I would tell you this. First of all, it's a good conversation, right? And I think it's good for everybody to have the pluses and minuses of it. Look, Don, and I said that earlier, if rates are going to be 8 to 10%, then this is a stupid conversation because it doesn't make any sense, right? All of this is really just if rates are the same for the 30 and the 50 or similar, right? So I think we can just say that things are, but when we get, if a 50 were ever to come to pass, I think it would be you get with your trusted lender and you get the estimates on what it looks like on all the different options. The same way we look at a 15 now or a 30 now, or we would look at a 50, or we look at an ARM. It's another option that may or may not work for people, but I wanted to have the conversation. Now, I want to pivot to that, and we can let Laura go as she's running around the house there. The portable mortgages. So, and it seems like, Dave really thought the assumables was a much better chance. I would tell you that there's nothing I'm more, and people that have been in private with me have heard this for 12 to 18 months. I've been shouting this one from the rooftop, and it was the little prayer that I thought would someday never happen, but was hoping would happen. Is the idea that we could do a portable mortgage is a game changer to me in reality. And I'm going to give a real life example. Okay. Somebody owns a house. They bought it for $500,000, or $600,000 and they owe $500,000. Well, that house is worth $1 million now. And they want to buy a $1.2 million house. They want to move up $200,000. They want to get the nicer neighborhood down the street. Well, if they could take that $500,000 over, that $500,000 mortgage with them, and then they've got $400,000 in equity. Well, now they've got $900,000 to put down that new house, and maybe they need another $100,000 or $200,000 loan. They have no problem getting the $100,000 or $200,000 loan at the current rates at 7%. Look, I'll take a $200,000 loan at 6%, 6.5%, 7%.
Because your bulk is already at that small
Because
number.
my $500,000 at 2.5% is moving over. When I've talked about this in rooms before, half the people, 2/3 of people raise their hand and say, I'd move tomorrow. I have no problem with a second trust that is, at that 6 or 7% if I'm able to keep my big number. And Dave showed a good chart there, and we'll send that off as if there are more and more people that have 6% of their house, but there's still that huge chunk of people.
I'm at 2.6. I'm
that-
going nowhere.
Right, at 3% or less. And I've jokingly said this, that like, I'm not moving for anything. And look, I'm at an age now where almost everybody I know is kids are between 10 and 25 years old. Nobody's moving. I don't know one of my friends that has moved in the last 3 years, or nobody that's considering moving, unless they get a divorce and they move out of the area, or they sell their house because their kids graduate. And it's not because everybody's content in their home. It's because everybody has a mortgage rate between 2.5% and 3% in a single family neighborhood because they either bought during that time period or they refinanced during that time period.
Right.
So if nobody's moving in my neighborhood, or 3% of people are moving in the neighborhood, that stops the flow. And we talk about, okay, what do you care about your neighborhood, Donnie? Well, if somebody like me moved up to a different house, if I moved up $200,000 or $300,000 in value, and the banks are saying, well, they want to block the portable mortgages because they want your whole $1 million loan, not the 800. They don't want just a $200,000 top-up loan. The problem is, it's not you're just getting my $200,000 top-up. It starts a chain reaction that if I sell, somebody has to buy my house, and somebody has to buy that house. We're creating 2 or 3 more transactions in our marketplace if I buy a new house tomorrow and move up. And that's, I think, what would change our dynamic for us and our industry tomorrow when it comes to how many transactions happen, how many people are able to buy and sell. Those are the things that I think would be crazy if we were able to get a portable mortgage through. And for what it's worth, I was in a room with the president and CEO and all the lawyers for NAR, and I looked at them dead in the eye in a meeting with 20 of us, and I said, there's nothing more important that you can work on than working with to try to get this passed. And do whatever you can to all of NAR's support behind it, because to me, it's not just about what's best for us. We want lots of transactions movement. It's so many families now, right now, that are in homes that they tolerate and are fine, but they can't possibly justify moving up to a different house at 6% and moving their $400,000, $800,000, $200,000 mortgage to a new place. The assumables, is a similar concept, but I think it's hard because then for me to move up, I keep using me as an example, I'd have to find somebody else that had an assumable
That you could
that
then
was
get.
similar to mine,
Right.
so that I could let somebody have mine. There's more. I'm not saying it can't work. There's just
more pieces
there's
to the
more
puzzle.
chairs and more pieces to the
Yeah.
puzzle. Keeping my mortgage, then now look, it's assumed that it has to appraise and your loan to value has to be good and all that.
Sure.
But I think finding the second trusts are going to be easier in the new world because everybody's still going to be at 70%, 75%, 80%, 60% loan to value because the people doing this move up with the portable mortgage have an extreme amount of equity. And when you combined their current mortgage with the equity in place, they're going to be at a good mortgage position when it comes to loan to value. So second trusts are going to be easier to come by
Agreed.
than in the past. So I'm a huge proponent of that. We're a long way from making it be available.
But from your lips to God's ears, it happens because it would be great.
So I thought it was a pie in the sky moment. The fact that it's a national discussion now, and I hear that
Gorgeous.
bankers and NAR and other people in FHA or Bill Pulte and all those people are talking about it is exciting to me. And so I say that now because I think that if these conversations come up, I want you guys to hear some of the pluses and minuses, to be able to talk educatedly about it, in your conversations in real estate. I see Mr. Lancaster stand up because he's always got something smart to say. So let's let Corey jump in the conversation and tell me where I'm wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But let him share his 2 cents. Go ahead, Corey.
No, it's just a provoking idea. I mean, regardless whether you believe in the 50-year or like the portable or the assumable, I'm probably more favorable with the assumable. But, just one thing I don't know, and I just like to hear anyone else's perspective on it, because sometimes we try to make all these changes to, spur up, the affordability, right? But then they can have a negative effect because obviously more people jumping in the market at a more affordable payment, which means they can buy more. So then you might have that chain reaction where prices start going up too
Well,
possibly.
too quickly, and so how
Yeah.
does that? How do you kind of balance that where
It's
that-
true.
You're not doing too many options to make it too affordable, where prices skyrocket up again, and then you pretty much at the same place again.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's a possibility. I think there'll be enough. I think every portable mortgage, let's just take that one for instance. If portable mortgages come to pass, every person moving up to buy something has something to sell. So they're putting inventory back into the market, because the thing that keeps prices down is enough inventory for people to buy, right? Yes, we're throwing a lot of buyers out there, but every new buyer by definition has to create inventory, because they can't move their mortgage to new property unless they're selling
Unless
that
they have
property.
right.
So they are going to be selling lots of stuff. It's just creating transactions and movement on that. So I don't think we're flooding the market with more buyers than we are sellers. It should be a 1-for-1 trade under that. I'd also like to give my 2 cents. I think there's like a 1% chance 50-year mortgages ever happen. I think it was an interesting conversation because it's going to come up. I think the assumable portable landscape, if I was to have betting odds, has a much better chance of becoming a reality. I think the 50-year mortgage was an interesting idea and a thought process, but I don't think that, first of all, I don't think both hit the market at once, because I think it's overflow of new products, right? But I think that either one could be, but I'm hearing there's more traction on the assumable portable options than the 50, but it's at least a good conversation.
And kudos to people for actually having the conversation, because we have to address it somehow, and at least starting the dialogue of some of these other options, huge to actually making some progress and making some change.
Was there another hand up that I missed?
Tom Malinsky, but he put it back down.
Okay.
Oh, you're waving again.
Tom's one that believes that you literally throw your hand.
One more added
I
thing.
love it. Yep.
One more added thing. Okay, people are not taking also, this is not going to change the housing market. This is just going to give people opportunity, we talked about before, of getting into a home that they couldn't normally afford. They were $500, $300 off in payment, and they want a certain area. But people are not taking into consideration the tax benefit. They're going to save 2 to 3 months in taxes, even if they applied part of that to their mortgage versus renting, where they don't get anything.
No, I agree.
Right.
I agree. Hey, no, it's definitely good points, and a lot of the good points of home ownership. Art, to answer your point in there, I don't think it's a personal portable consumer loan. I don't think anybody would do that. I think it's changing the collateral of the loan. Like, you're not going to be able to move that loan to a new property unless the collateral is worth the product. They would never give me they're never going to give people a $700,000, $800,000 unsecured portable loan that they're moving to just themselves that they owe. It would have to be a new collateralized product. You're just moving the collateral with what that's owed to, would be my assumption of how we're going forward this. So, guys, I don't know where the time went, but it was a great conversation.
Absolutely.
I've got a couple things I want to close up with here, some announcements, because I want to make sure everybody's seeing all the great things we have going on. We've had some really good coaching wins. Samson Plus had a great training day. On Friday, we had our business planning day, over 100 people out. Great job, Richard, and all of our coaches. Thank you for all that came out to better themselves. But I just want to share a couple great wins we've had. Thurwood Lawrence, working with Lori.
Nice job.
She had an ambitious goal to consistently make $10K a month for her business, and she has hit that goal every month since she started coaching.
Nice job.
Awesome stuff. Victor Grillo started working with Jason. He had 0 social media presence in June when he started. He now has 185 followers, done 12 videos, averaging 2,400 views.
Nice.
Created a half dozen leads from these videos already. Just awesome stuff by diving in.
Beautiful.
And changing his comfort zone. Diego is working with Arturo. He put together his first client event. He's been in business 38 years, invited over 600 people, and he's off and running. So I just love just breaking out of your comfort zone. There's Diego, who's been a successful realtor for 38 years.
And is trying something new.
And it's gonna yield some fruit for him. Janine Robinson working with Sam. Each person on Janine's team had a closing last month. It was the best month of their team ever.
Beautiful.
Elodie's working with a focus, coaching, and Sam. So I love Samson Plus. Guys, continue to dive into what the stuff they've got going on. They're continuing to change people's lives every day by helping people achieve their goals, setting a game plan, setting accountability, and you're going to see results. On that same lane, I can see the wonderful Lynn Hamilton up there. She's running our grade training, and she's doing the fourth quarter challenge. We've got some October winners. I saw Sean on the call earlier. Sean Price, first place from
Sean
Tyson.
Price.
Way to go, Sean. Second to Connie Brown from Bowie. Third to Helena Ashton from National
Nice
Harbor.
job, ladies.
We'll get you some gift certificate for Print Shop
And swag.
and Samson swag. Guys, it's not too late to join the fourth quarter challenge. Reach out to Lynn.
Guys, the business you're doing right now, the prospecting you're doing right now are your December, January, February closings. Don't slack off. Finish the year strong.
Your 2026 is decided by how you work now.
Yes.
Dive in with Lynn into the challenge. Do stuff. Get in with a Samson Plus coach.
stuff.
Start getting some accountability, building daily plans, and starting to achieve things.
Quick note, we have got a new system coming out. I need a test group, so this is your opportunity. If you have a rental listing right now that's on the market, we are testing a rental application program. Guys, the quick 10-second verbiage is that Rents Free is a program we all use. We got behind it. We found out that it was not as encompassing as we think it should be to protect landlord clients. In many of our areas, it is not giving us criminal background checks and other things, which opens up the agent and the company to liability, as well as, unfortunately, opens up, in some cases, the landlord to potential mismanagement of their biggest asset. So we are working with another company to give us a more encompassing rental application process. I need a test group. Email Melissa Walsh, mwalsh@samsonproperties.net. It's in the chat. If you have a current rental listing on the market, we would like to include you in our beta test group before we launch it company-wide. I appreciate you. Thank you much.
I appreciate you. Thank you much. Ryder, we got Zillow showcases available. You should be showcasing all your listings, in my opinion, if you want to get the best knowledge for it. You can email Lynn there. She put in the chat there about the fourth quarter challenge if you want to hop into that. A quick note, guys, Publisher is going away. Publisher as a product is going away, not us, just in general. All the Publisher templates can be used in Canva today, and the templates can be found on the Cardinal S. It's a great time if you haven't moved to Canva yet to start to move over to there. It's a better platform for
Publisher is
creating
being
all the things.
retired.
They're retiring. They're like Sarah. No, I'm just kidding.
Not nice.
Just jokes. I got some good reactions on people's faces on that one. But just a heads up there, so you want to start to learn Canva and move over to that. And Tommy Sullivan, our great print center operator, our great print trainer and marketing,
Is
can
training all
help train you
peoples,
on how to
yes.
do that as well if you need that help.
Save date.
Save the date for December sales meeting. We also have all of our great holiday parties all over the place. We've gone over here, but we've got great conversation, guys. I knew you had it in you. I love when you guys participate. It makes the conversations better.
And you volunteered yourselves. We didn't have to
You have to
volunteer you.
volunteer anybody. A couple things I want to hammer real quick before we close out. We just said it, but the what you do now to get your 2026 success. You got 6 weeks here till the end of the year. Some of you are going to go into holiday hangout mode, which is fine. You have all of your own choices in life. But this is the time you should be preparing your business, preparing your marketing, setting your goals, setting your game plan, and starting to act on those things. All those things you heard in HQDUs, all those things you've heard during the year and you haven't gotten to. You should be diving into a Real Scout or diving into a newsletter plan or a postcard plan or a farming plan or changing your sphere of influence or fine-tuning your website or fine-tuning your CRM. Create that plan now. You cannot just sit around and do the same things you did this year and expect different results next
And
year.
David said it. You're going to have more conversations in the next 6 weeks through the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays to engage with people. Take advantage of that. Have those conversations. Be ready with conversation. Be ready with your thoughts in these slides to be able to take in and educate people.
So we're continuing to be here, and we're going to continue to drive all the great things that we've got. We've got the HQs, dive into Samson Plus, dive into Lynn's training, dive into the masterminds that we have. We can't come and get you and drag you in and make you do the things, but we're here to help you succeed. We're continuing. I came back from Houston this weekend with a whole boatload of new ideas.
Very fired up with new ideas.
So we're gonna work with the staff to continue to unload great training, great stuff to you all. We just want you to dive in it and be more successful next year than you were this year, and we're excited to help take you there. We're thankful for each and every one of you. We're thankful for the amazing success that we have here at Samson. Thank you for your support of Cardinal Title Group. We want to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
if we don't
very
see you,
happy Thanksgiving. Eat,
next
drink,
week.
and be merry.
Eat, drink, and be merry, which is the line that I messed up earlier. We will see you all over our footprint, our holiday parties, our HQs, all the trainings coming up. And we're just thankful for all of you and thankful for continuing
Absolutely. And
help
don't
grow our
forget to go
company.
shopping on the Amazon wish list to support all of the children. It's for the children.
For the children.
Please send toys.
Thank you all, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye,
Take care.
guys.